one of the most beautiful booths we've seen all week here is GES, and I'm joined now with the creative director, Mark Sykes from Sheffield, England. Where did you come up with this idea to do a booth like this?
Well, the idea was really to make sure that the attendees understood that we were focusing the needs of the customer. So we bespoke, tailored their needs. So the idea of all of these, for instance, the hats that are above you, everybody wears different hats at different times during the day. And sometimes we have too many hats and we only have one head. So the idea is that we would be able to take a few of those hats and make your job a little bit easier, relieve, so you can then focus on the business that you need to do.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of elements around here. You'll see a lot of tailoring elements. Now, we're not a fashion house, but it's really just a stepping stone to a conversation about focusing what your style is, whether it's a colour style over there on the colour trends, or whether it's a specific style of need. We've got Rosemary over in the corner who's a model, and she has all the Pantone colours as a skirt, because everybody's specific taste is different. And the idea being we need to understand what your specific taste is, what your specific needs are, and so that we can measure, engage, and create the best solutions for your needs.
So when you guys work with all these different companies that have different needs, what are some of the most relevant things you feel like these people can follow in order to be successful, right? So some strong, successful tips from your perspective to exhibitors.
I think one of the things that we're hearing here, the customers are really hearing the fact that we want to listen to them. And I think that's the key. It's very easy for us to tell you what we think you need to do, but we want the feedback so that we're empowered to be able to give you a good solution. One of those things is strategy, creating a strategic solution. And strategic solutions are not necessarily about spending money. They're about tailoring what your specific needs are. And it might be that you want to look at a particular show, but you don't know whether that show is going to be relevant to you. And therefore, we've got the experience and knowledge and the volume of business that we do. We can understand what that show is, whether that show is relevant to you. We've got a global footprint. So if you work domestically in the US, we can actually deliver that in Dubai. I was in Abu Dhabi last week, and then Dubai with my design team that I've got out there in production. We've got production teams in Germany, all over the UK, and it's basically a global solution.
Gotcha.
And I think clients are looking for that. They're looking for something more than just one shop and then go to another shop, because they want an intuitive understanding of what their needs are. So if you've worked with you once, then you understand all their little idiosyncrasies. Those idiosyncrasies can make or break a deal, so that they don't have to remind you next time they go out that all those, we want post-its, we want the graphics, we want a light box, we don't like AV. All those are already understood, and we keep the consistency. So we've got the team that works directly with you in order to deliver that, whether that's in India, whether that's in Saudi Arabia, whether that's in Dubai or Australia or Barcelona. And those are all a few places that we are in now at this moment in time, as well as here in Vegas.
Gotcha. So paying attention to detail was one thing that you said is very important that the exhibitors do, your clients. What is some other advice you can give your clients, besides working with you, because obviously that's the most important.
Biased, of course, yes.
But some things that maybe you remember, some things that you've seen clients do, and you're like, that's such a bad idea, or that was a good idea but bad execution. What are some things that you can give advice to these exhibitors when they're...
One of the things that it's very easy to get caught up in is a trend. A trend is designed and is meant to be a temporary thing, an ephemeral moment. Yeah. And what we want to do is actually to create something that has a more classy longevity.
Classic.
So, absolutely. So, for instance, the way you're dressing, you're beautiful and in that black outfit. That could be worn 10 years ago, today, or in 10 years' time, and it would still stand the test of time. The same applies to any exhibit. So if you've got an exhibit and you're not following a trend, and you're doing something that's classy and meaningful and relevant to your customer, then you're going to have a good solution, and it's going to have the longevity of time. And actually, when we're thinking about making sure that we keep properties for as long as possible and reuse as much as we can, so that we're environmentally friendly, that's the best route to go. Otherwise, we'll just be reinventing the wheel every few years, going out to tender and bidding and taking that risk every single time. And the brand needs to be consistent. So it needs to be consistent wherever you are in the world, and that would be my specific few points of advice.
Got you. Okay, that's really good advice. I want to hone in on specific face-to-face engagement, right? So you guys, your staff, being here, being able to actually talk to potential clients, how important is that human-to-human connection?
You can't undervalue that. That is one of the things I've actually learned, because I'm a creative director, so normally I'm designing, or my team is designing booths, and we deliver, and then we walk away and let the customer get on with it. Actually working on a booth like this is it's interesting because you see a different perspective. From my perspective, a face-to-face engagement is the most valuable thing you do. We have a lot of North American clients in our business, and we come 2 or 3 times a year to have that face-to-face engagement, because it's interesting. You find that you've done a design, you've communicated by email several times, you've done lots of iterations, the client has actually signed it off. You actually go to, say, New York, you meet with that client, we know it's all signed off, but we'd just like to walk you through it. I can guarantee I've got a red pen that I might put drawings with, and I can guarantee that red pen will fall over this drawing. And it's not that it's wrong, but actually when you're in face-to-face engagement with a customer, you can resonate and different ideas that come off, and they change. And those little irritations that might be okay if you turn up on site and I would have done something slightly different had I known. It's better to nip that in the bud and actually stop it from festering and get the solution right first time. And those are the sort of benefits of having that face-to-face again. Plus you can actually communicate all the different aspects of your business, because GES is just an example. You know, people perceive that the business as being what we are as a large company, but they don't always think that we're a global company and that we're not just a general contractor. We've got a lot of design and build corporate clients. We service with different sort of engagement and different sort of measurements, smart booth technology. There's all sorts of different facets to our business, but it gives us an opportunity to communicate. And it's surprising how many you get that I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that moment is extremely valuable and really useful.
With all the different facets of your business, I know you guys have built some insanely beautiful exhibitions and booths.
We're very proud of it.
Yeah, so I want to know, what's like the wildest, craziest, most fun booth you've ever had the pleasure of like designing and directing?
As a creative director, you very rarely get opportunity to get involved in the nitty-gritty design. I was a designer for 20 years, now I've got teams of designers.
Gotcha.
So mine's more about influence these days. You know, one of the craziest ones, I suppose, and it's not really crazy, but it's decadent. So for Lockheed Martin in Dubai, a few years ago we were asked to build a permanent pavilion. Now Dubai happens every 2 years, and it's a 5-day show every 2 years. And they wanted a building there, a permanent building that was a jewel in that region, and it was a commitment to the region as far as their business is concerned. So we designed and built a 3-story glass pavilion, which had conference rooms, bathrooms, hospitality, display areas. It wasn't a small booth, it was a huge glass facade, a jewel in the crown of Dubai. And that was the most exciting. And it's only used once for 5 days every 2 years. And then we shut it up, we protect it from the sunlight by closing the interior, and we open it up every 2 years.
Wow.
So there's an element of decadence, but also the scale and the opportunity to make a commitment to that particular region. And it was something that was extremely successful and very hard work, inevitably, because you have to work with the organisers, get space, but there are so many different. We're opening a show in Barcelona a couple of days ago for Brightstar, and we've done their work for 3 years on the trot, their large pavilions, and we've won 2 years on the trot, the best booth there, and we're hoping third year, lucky, will carry on. But you know, we've got jobs in Australia, as we say, and Saudi Arabia and Barcelona. They're all good. They're all fabulous. It doesn't matter whether it's a pop-up or whether it's a large building. As far as we're concerned, we're proud. And we're proud to work with our customers and have that customer, the longevity of that partnership and that intuitive understanding of what they need.
Speaking of partnership, are you knowledgeable about your company's experience with Expo Stars? Can you talk about that or not?
Only on a surface area, because as far as I'm concerned, that any partnership with any client is about understanding what their needs are and continuing needs. And I think one of the things that Expo Stars is, it's a partner that we utilise to work with our clients, offering services to the clients for hostess and making sure that there's an understanding, an interface between the customer and the customer's customer, I guess, and making sure that they're empowered to be able to create a good dialogue and to communicate a conversation, and to host that conversation in such a way and facilitate a conversation, because that's what we're all here for. Whether we're having a dialogue with our customers, it's the most meaningful part of the business.
It's the most meaningful part of the business. So you're saying having booth staff or people there is the most...
Absolutely, because designing an exhibition stand used to be about the architecture. Now it's about the before, after, or during and after, and it's about actually getting that return on investment. But actually the reason why people are there is to have that face-to-face meeting, and it's everybody, whether it's the hostesses, whether it's the catering staff, whether it's the stand builder, everybody is there to create a solution, to deliver a solution, to make sure that the business is represented in the best way and that facilitates additional business. It's a really simple equation, and if you're really successful, everything gets ticked, everybody feels great, and we all bask in the glory of that particular business's success.